Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, um, I'm just chilling. Me and we were getting ready to go to the grocery store, but my son really wanted to play this game called Roblox. So I told him if he cleaned his room that I would let him play the Roblox. So we had a deal. So, hey, Classy, what's up, girl? I wanted to come on and chat with you guys because yesterday, while I was live streaming, um, I had a comment or a question slash comment from I think a new subscriber that was wanting me to make a video about how to help someone who is in active addiction, an addicted family member. So yeah, I really try to like pay attention to what you guys are asking or what you're requesting. So when I see you request something, I really want to make a video about it right away as soon as I can because I do understand that like addiction and all this stuff is time sensitive and you know if I put it off, then anything could happen to your loved one. They could overdose and die, and I'm just keeping it real. So, in fact, let me move you guys to a better like where I can actually kind of sit the phone down and look at you guys. Okay, I think that helps a little bit better. Is that horrible because of the light behind me, or is that okay, guys? Hey, fat and saucy, what's up? I'm glad you're here. Okay, so that light is like not looking good. Okay, let's do this. Hold on, let's go downstairs. Sorry guys. I want to make sure that I can talk to you guys while I'm doing the video. So, Onyx, what are you doing on that couch? You little stink pot. We got to take our tree down too, guys. I have the tree still up. So, okay, we're at 2 minutes. Let's get into the video before I lose you guys' attention. All right. Hey, you know that tripod I have? I don't know how to work it, so I'm gonna have to get a YouTube. I'm gonna have to YouTube video how to set it up so I can actually use it. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, ready? Here we go. When am I gonna start doing vlogs? Oh Lord. My life is not that interesting yet. Maybe if my life gets a little bit more interesting, I will start vlogging. So, okay, how to help someone who's in active addiction, whether it's your family member, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your husband or your wife, okay? He talks about you and Nicole. Well, her hips, and I know, I saw it. I watched it, you guys. Sid is so crazy. I just love him to death. So, all right. So the first step I feel like when someone is trying to help a struggling addict, okay, the first thing that I feel like the person needs to do is learn about the disease of addiction, okay? It's really difficult to help someone when you don't understand what they're going through, okay? And so a lot of you are probably saying, well, how can I understand what they're going through? I've never been an addict. I've never done drugs before. I just don't understand it. Well, there's things that you can do to learn, okay? There's things that you can do. There's meetings you can go to hear other people's perspectives. You can watch people's videos on YouTube who are now in recovery like me. And after I upload this video, I'm gonna list a whole list of channels that are recovering addicts. So those of you that are not addicts and you have someone in your family who you care about who's addicted, you can watch these videos, okay? Also, you can go to Al-Anon, all right? And I think there's even a program for addicts. I think it's called Narcanon. But what it is it's a meeting, a 12-step fellowship for loved ones and family members who have addicts in their family, okay? So what it does is it teaches you how to not enable the addict, how to love them, but not how to love them from a distance, right? Hey, Sid, I love you too, baby. I told my husband about you, and he said he's completely fine with us seeing each other. So make sure that you get into some program or some kind of meeting to where you can learn about the disease of addiction, because that's one of the hardest problems that I think a lot of normal people face when they're trying to help their family members who are in active addiction, is that there's no relatability between the two. Okay, so a normal person who has never gone through an addiction, they can't empathize with a person who is in active addiction because they don't understand. A normal person thinks like this: well, why don't you just quit? Just stop. Just put the drugs down. Just walk away. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. That's how normal people think. But it's not that simple. The disease of addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful, okay? It centers in the mind, and it is an obsession. It is an obsession of the mind, okay? It's a mental disorder. It centers in our mind, okay? And so for those people who think that it's just a choice and that let me explain it to you. You might have chose the first day you ever used a drink or a drug. Maybe it was when you were 16 or 17 years old, okay? But from that point forward, when you picked up that drug, you awoke the beast inside of you. You brought to life the addiction, because the addiction lays dormant inside of us, right? Like, you could have the disease of addiction, but as long as you don't pick up a drink or a drug, you're never going to know you have the disease, because the way the disease is woke up is by the allergy, is by the substance entering the body. And then your body doesn't metabolize the drugs or the alcohol the way a person who doesn't have the disease body metabolizes it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the manifestation of an allergy. It's like if you're allergic to bees and a bee stings you and you break out in hives. You would have never known you were allergic to the bees until you got stung by one. It's just like with addiction. How many of you guys, like, you didn't know you were an addict until you got high for the first time and you loved it? You know, it's the way our bodies respond to drugs and alcohol. It's not the same as a normal person who doesn't have the disease, okay? All right, so learn about the disease of addiction. Attend meetings like Al-Anon or Narcanon for real, okay? I'm telling you, it will really, really help you. All right, always try to encourage the addicted loved one. Always try to encourage them to make changes that are positive in their life, okay? Now, I don't mean nag them. I don't mean constantly remind them. I mean, there's little things you can do, like encouraging them to maybe try going to some meetings. Encourage them to, send them an uplifting video. If you find a video on social media and it's from someone who used to be addicted and now they're recovered, send them a video to let them know, they're not alone. All right? It's really hard because I feel like when you have someone in your life who you love, who is an addict, you are so emotionally involved in that relationship that it's hard for you to separate yourself from that, right? Now, my husband is an addict also. And so when we got sober, I was like, okay, we're getting sober. This is it. It's done. What's done is done. And I got sober and that was it. And I'm not going back to that life anymore, right? That was after me relapsing like 65 times. Now, let me tell you that. But my husband struggled. He relapsed a couple of times in our recovery together. And I remember being so angry with him. All right. I remember yelling at him and calling him a junkie and telling him he didn't love me. He didn't love my son, right? He didn't love our son. And that's when I realized that I'm not treating him with the same love and respect, kindness that I would treat a person off my channel who's struggling with the disease of addiction. So when is enough enough? Fat and saucy, it comes up to that person, honestly, it has to be that person's decision when they're ready to make a change. It has to be. The consequences start outweighing the pleasure of getting high. And that's when the person will start changing. Now, this brings us up to my next point. Do not enable your loved ones that are on drugs. Do not give them a place to live. If they're using drugs, they shouldn't live underneath your roof. Okay? If they have kids and they're using drugs, and you're saying, well, I'm letting them live here because they're kids. Take their kids, let their kids live with you, and kick their asses out. Do not enable someone that is still getting high. Do not allow them to live underneath your roof. Do not allow them to have money. Don't give them money from you. Don't let them have your car. Don't let them get clothes out of your closet. That's not what they need from you. They need to experience the negative consequences of addiction because they're not going to learn if they don't experience the negative consequences. The consequences of addiction are what causes a person to want to change. I wouldn't have ever changed if I didn't have consequences because I loved getting high. I liked getting high. I liked the feeling that drugs gave me. But I didn't like losing my son. I didn't like putting myself in compromising situations and doing stuff that I didn't want to have to do to get drugs. I didn't like losing my jobs. I didn't like losing my mom and dad and their respect and love. You know, they loved me from a distance, but I didn't get to interact with them at all because they didn't want me around because I was getting high. So as long as you're still enabling your addicted loved one, they're not going to change because they have you doing everything for them. I mean, why would they change? Why would they stop using drugs if they're allowed to live underneath your roof and still get high? Why would they stop doing drugs if mama gives them $40 every morning when she wakes up before she goes to work and works her ass off and they sit on the couch shooting dope all day long? Why would you change when you have someone basically aiding and abetting in your addiction, helping you kill yourself? Why would you make a change? It's when the drug addict experiences negative consequences that the drug addict wants to change. It's just the truth of the matter. The pain and the consequences start outweighing the pleasure produced by drugs. Okay? And that's when change comes. That's why when I talk to people and they're crying their eyes out or they're super depressed or they're like, I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of this life. I'm like, this is great. This is great. This is exactly what you need to be, where you need to be. You need to be tired. Because if you're not tired of it, you're not going to make a change. That's just the straight up truth, you guys. If you guys have, I'll call you when I get off. If you have someone in your family who's very young, under the age of 18, and they're using drugs, and you still you're still their parent, and you can, have them put places, of course, a person under 18, if they're getting high and they can go to treatment, then I would absolutely recommend them going to treatment. I would absolutely recommend you putting your young child who's 17-year-old getting high in treatment. But once they cross over and they're 18 years old, they have to make decisions for themselves. And you can't really force anything on them anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I've seen some people that get forced into treatment and they get sober and they never look back. And then I've also seen people who get forced into treatment who come out and they're pissed that their family put them in treatment. And they're not grateful at all. They're still in their diseased mind. And they think, I just wasted 30 days. I could have been getting high. And see, that's the thing about addiction, is that by allowing this person to experience consequences, by allowing them to struggle and let them hit their rock bottom, hopefully by allowing them to go through those hardships, when it's time to get help and to get sober, they'll be grateful to have the help. They'll be happy to go into treatment and get off the streets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Every time that I ever went into treatment, I was grateful to go into treatment, you guys, because I was tired, because I didn't have shit, because I was barely making it, because I was sleeping on people's couches, because I was scraping by to eat every day. Like I was grateful to go into treatment and have a warm place to go to sleep and food to eat every day, 3 meals a day, right? Because I didn't have that when I was in my active addiction. There were some days where I didn't eat at all for days, and a lot of that was because I was on meth. But I'm just saying, even if I did have food, I wouldn't have ate it because I was high. But that's besides the point. The best thing I can tell you to do for someone who's in active addiction is to back up, take care of your own life, and let them learn that they have to take care of theirs. As long as people are allowing the addict to live with them, sleep at their house, drive their car, eat their food, take their money, then the addictive loved one is not learning anything, all right? I know that it's sad that someone would go to the point where they're homeless or they sell themselves for drugs. But sometimes that's what some of us need. We need to get to the point where we are desperate, all right? And it's called the gift of desperation, all right? My husband didn't have desperation because he had his family enable him through his whole addiction. And my husband has struggled to stay sober. Now, the last year, he's been doing really, really well. I truly believe it's because, he's gotten away from the toxic relationship of his family just hovering over him all the time. And he's able to be a man. And it feels good to be able to accomplish things. And he's got his confidence, getting his confidence back, But it doesn't help when you're constantly trying to, it's not going to help the person if you're trying to save them. Okay? And I really hope you guys understand. I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to feel like I don't understand where you're coming from, because I do. My husband is an addict. I love him. He's my best friend. But there came a point where he kept relapsing, and I had to tell him, I'm putting a boundary. And if this is the boundary, and if this happens again, I can't be in your life. I can't be around you. I need you to fight for your life and fight for our family. I need you to love yourself enough to give yourself a chance at sobriety. Do you understand? And I think my husband finally found the motivation to stay sober in our son. Because he didn't have that same motivation that I had at the beginning. Because he's the father, I'm the mother, and I had that connection with my son, and that drove me to keep going. You understand? Because I didn't love myself either when I got sober. I hated myself. I was ashamed of myself. But today, it's different. Today, I love me. Today, I'm proud of myself. Today, I'm making changes. Today, I'm being a better person. So hopefully through encouragement, through you going and getting the education you need about the disease of addiction, and through you setting those healthy boundaries and not enabling your addictive loved one, things will get better. Thanks, Fat and Saucy. Love you too, babe. I really appreciate you for being here. I'm so glad you guys have came over and joined my channel. I know that not everyone is addicted to drugs. Not everyone understands recovery, but I really, really want to keep that focus here on my channel, because I struggled with addiction for so many years. And I will tell you one thing, you guys. My parents stopped enabling me, okay? They kicked me out I was 20 years old when I got kicked out of my house. Okay. I didn't have anything. I had a car and that was it. I had a car and a job. And my parents made the very hard decision to stop enabling me. And it still took me 12 years to hit rock bottom, to get to the point where the consequences outweighed the pleasure of getting high. I went to prison. That consequence wasn't enough to keep me from wanting to get high. Okay? I came out of prison, went back to getting high. Lost friends to overdose, went back to getting high. Lost my car, my job, my dignity, my respect, went back to getting high. Was homeless, went back to getting high. It wasn't until I gave birth to my son and I lost my son to Child Protective Services that I woke up and that consequence was strong enough to pull my head out of my own ass so I could get sober. It's different for every addict. Not every addict is going to snap out of it and say, okay, these consequences, I can't take them anymore. But as long as you are babying the addict and enabling the addict, they're not going to ever get there. And that's not on you. I'm not blaming you, okay? I'm not telling you that because you enabled them that it's all your fault that they're in this addiction. No, that's not what I'm saying, okay? I'm just trying to tell you that this is what you need to make changes in, and this is what you need to do, all right? You can do research, find treatment centers, find meetings, find all the resources that you can. Get your child or your addicted loved one into therapy. Encourage them to talk to somebody. Encourage them to reach out for help, okay? Because they cannot do this alone. I tried for many, many years to get sober on my own without anybody helping me, nobody. And I failed, you guys. And the reason why I know that so many other people do this is because I see it every single day. They say, well, I don't want to burden you with my problems, or I should be able to handle this. I got myself into this mess, right? But that's just not what it is, you guys. It's not. You can't handle it. You need help because your brain is addicted. Your brain is hijacked. So you need help, okay? Because you can't make good decisions for yourself. And that's another thing. If you have a family member who is addicted to drugs, the decisions that they're making are not decisions that are made in their right mind. They need help. They're not the same person. They are a different person. Okay? So I hope this helps anyone out there who has someone that's struggling with active addiction. If you have any more questions or comments, just put them down below. I'm going to upload this video right now, but I wanted to go live for if anybody was in the comment section that had someone that was addicted to drugs that needed help. Happy New Year, Seth. So if you have someone that is struggling with a disease of addiction and you don't know where to start, you are more than welcome to text me anytime on the Real Talk Recovery phone line. The number is 501-991-5149. And I'll do anything I can to make suggestions to help you help your addicted loved one. But you're going to have to listen when I tell you that you got to back up off them. You got to let them fall. You cannot catch them anymore. They have to learn. Okay? I know that you love them. I know that you might be the mom or the dad and that's your baby. But they're adults now, and they have to take responsibility. So I hope that helped you guys out. I love you guys so very much. I'm going to upload this video, and then I have one other video coming that's pre-recorded that I'm going to upload. So I love you guys so much. Check out our Discord. Thank you so much, Merk. Check out our Facebook group, Real Talk Recovery. Check out my Patreon, Real Talk Recovery. Let me think what else I could say. Share these videos with your friends. Let people know that we have support over here. I'm giving out free knowledge here on my YouTube channel, okay? free stuff. So if you're struggling and you need help, I promise you, like, I'm not just saying this stuff because I like to hear myself talk. This is the truth. Okay. This will help you change your life. If you have someone who is addicted to drugs that you love, that you care about, I promise you, if you do the things that I'm telling you to do, it will help you and your mental health, because you need a break. You need to let go and let them hit rock bottom. And you need to think about you for once instead of thinking about your addicted loved one all the time, because they will consume your life.
Can I have some eggs?
Yes, they will consume your life, you guys. And then you're not helping them anymore, because all it is about is them consuming your life. Okay? So, okay, I hope that helps. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.